Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to this live stream where we have the one and only Harikrishna joining us. He recently won the Prague Masters 2022, a very strong event. And Hari was not only able to win this tournament by half a point margin, but also pumped up his rating by 19 elo points. These are the standings. You can see Hari Krishna at the top, followed by Lek Wong Liam, then Nguyen Thai Dai Wan. And it was a phenomenal performance for Hari because he scored 4 wins and 5 draws, staying unbeaten. So today we are going to have Hari Krishna here. We are going to analyze some of the games with him. We are also going to ask him about some amazing moves that he made there. And I had put a community post on our YouTube where I had asked you if you have any questions. So I've picked out some of the best questions from there, which we are going to ask him. So I hope that everyone can hear me well. And without any further delay, let me invite the man of the moment, Hari. Hello, Hari. How are you?
Yeah, hi Sagar. Hi everyone. I'm doing good. Thanks for your wishes, and it is indeed nice. I saw the videos which you were covering the event. After the event, I saw the videos. It was really nice.
Thank you so much, Hari. We were following the tournament on a daily basis, and it was such a nerve-wracking one right from day one because there were the chess element was very interesting and exciting. But before I come to that, I want to ask you, how was it overall for you? Are you happy with your quality of play? Did you think that you could have played even better than what you played, because there were some games which are slightly unstable? In some games you played amazing chess. What is your objective assessment of your performance?
I think as a player, I always think there is a lot of scope for improvement, and even if I win, like nice victories and so on, there will be always some errors. And as a player, of course, I try to improve and eliminate all the mistakes which I do in my events, because as you go higher, even a small mistake can cost quite a lot, and that's how I see it. And definitely I can I should improve over my play from Prague.
Yeah, well, but like finishing first in this field was definitely not easy, considering that there were so many strong players. Did you feel like positive at the start of the event, especially because it was happening in your hometown in Prague? How far was it from your home? Were you staying at home? Were you staying in the hotel?
So it's like 45 minutes from my place, and I was staying at the hotel, since commuting every day to the hotel and back would be really tough. And besides, I want to get into the tournament mode. Of course, on the rest day, my and my wife came to visit me, but for the event I was fully focused, and I stayed at the hotel. So it's a nice feeling to to just not to go by train or flight or anything, but you can just go in such a short commute. Yeah.
And also the organizers and everyone, you know them very well. I think the entire event is very well organized. Yes.
Yes. So the organizer is the captain of Novibor Chess Club, which is based in the Czech Republic. So myself, Vidit, Sashi, we are all members of Novibor Chess Club. We play at the Czech highest league as well as the European Club Cup. I have been playing for I think it's already 10 years.
Hmm.
It's quite long.
Yeah.
And the organizer got the idea to start a strong event in Prague in the year 2019, and that's the first edition. And since then it's going well. Even last year, like at the middle of the pandemic, he managed to organize this event, so
Yeah.
not to break the tradition. So, and yeah, everything else you have seen in videos, and you know it.
Yeah, it was very well organized. I think this is also one of the reasons why you shifted to Prague, right? Because of the entire system, the support system that they have built up.
Yes, definitely. I play for the club here, so it gives me support in terms of finance, and also I can travel around Europe without any travel problems.
Right.
So that's I mean, there are more things, but these are the main reasons. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Hari, should we look at some of your games and some critical moments?
Yeah, I hope I will be sharp enough to, remember all the
Yeah,
calculations.
I mean, I just want your human inputs because, of course, we can analyze with the engines at any point. But
Yeah,
what were you thinking at that point, and what was
sure.
your feelings like? So,
Yeah, just before starting, I want to warn you that I mean, probably you saw my picture in the closing ceremony or even later. I was exhausted, after the event, and you could see. It's like, you are quite tired, but there's just one more game, and you keep going. But I'm fine now. I'm
yeah.
recovering, but I'm eager to see all the questions you have. And
Yeah.
by the way, if you remember, you did this a video after Shenzhen when I won 5 games
Yes.
in the year 2019, I think. So that was pretty tough.
No,
Hopefully this
and
will.
I remember at that point also you had played some amazing games,
Yeah.
and especially also you had made a course at that point with
Yes. Yes.
Chessable on
Yes.
French, so it was great. Let's see. I mean, it's not going to be tough or anything. So here,
Okay.
your game with Vidit, first round.
Okay. Mhm.
I think you can see the board. Yes.
Yes, yes, I see on Zoom. I just see the Zoom, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. On the Zoom,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can pin that
Okay.
screen, and that should
Yeah,
be
yeah.
good.
Sure. Pin. Okay. Cool. Yes, I did.
So the first game itself was an exciting one for the fans because, apart from, I mean, you and Vidit are very good friends of each other. We know that. But, there's always this rivalry related to India number two spot. And it's always fun to watch both of you because you are evenly matched. So,
Mm-hmm.
you played this move b4 in the
Yeah.
opening. Was this part of your preparation, or because you were not playing very fast, you also took 3.5 minutes to make this move?
Yes. So basically, I did analyze these positions in detail. For sure, this was not my preparation. I
Ah,
can tell you that. I had before in slightly different move order, which, okay, it's not important
right.
to discuss that. But the point was really nice, to you are getting rid of the c5 pawn to have a strong center, and put pressure on d5 pawn, or even capture these two bishops. Over the board, I started to calculate, all the lines, actually what has happened. It was impossible to calculate until the end or something like that. But to me, it appeared pretty interesting, this move before, and I thought, why not to go for it? I remember the game between Alireza and
Yeah,
Dominguez, which
which
I
went
actually,
g4 here.
yes, yes, which I did check in my preparation. And yeah, I mean, it was amazing to see how many different motors and the fine points in these structures. And I couldn't believe it was really tough to understand. Okay, let's go start from f3. Let's start from castle. Let's start from some b4. Uh, So yeah, here I decided to play something interesting over the board. But since when it works, people will feel that player has prepared. But yeah, it was my over the board idea.
Vidit, of course, played the best way to this. But he took 43 minutes to make this move. And I think that was already a small victory for you there.
Yeah, definitely. I think C takes B4 is obviously the most challenging move, and definitely you cannot think for 43 minutes. I mean, if I would take C B4, maximum I would spend would be like 10 minutes. I mean, I also was calculating, like, let's say C4, knight C6, and other moves, because I don't want to give up the center and put pressure on the E3 pawn, which is one of the main ideas in these structures. But C takes B4 obviously is the most challenging
Yeah,
thing, which I was actually thinking the most, because I'm losing a pawn.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
and then you played knight b5.
Hmm.
He took e4, which was the logical follow-up, because now you are
Yeah.
threatening e5. He cannot move
Yeah.
his bishop because knight c7 is in the air.
Hmm.
And now takes. And here with it found bishop a6, which is again very interesting.
Also, bishop G4 you could play here.
Yes, but this was so complicated, right? I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
humanly very difficult.
Actually, both the moves, like, in the sense, like, once you see the idea, it's pretty simple.
Hmm.
But until your mind gets to this point where you have to go for this idea, it feels super complex.
Correct.
Somehow that's how. And the one of the main things in this position, like, both the sides, like white as well as black, has so much choice. You can play bishop G4, you can play bishop A6, and sometimes you can sacrifice a piece, and that makes it complicated. If it's a force line, it's much easier to go for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was also calculating bishop G4, um, but it was complicated.
It was too complicated. I mean,
Yeah.
I calculated some lines like
Yeah.
bishop f8 and then knight c7, or you can take. And
I,
I mean,
I I think I have to take this f6 knight, because knight c7 is somehow very dangerous. It can get quite
yeah, no,
tricky.
it's,
Of
I think,
course, if
losing this way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So d4 pawn is kind of necessary for me. So I would go for e takes f6, and then yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah.
That's my evaluation here.
No, I completely agree with it, because I think also, do you think it helped that this was the first round of the event, and sometimes you are a little bit, new environment, and I think Vidit
Uh,
was not settled in, it seemed.
I mean, definitely, the first round is quite tricky for most of the players. Some players start with full force in game one and two, and some players take their time. Like, for example, Magnus usually starts a little bit slower, but then he has much more energy than his opponents in the second half, where he usually scores a lot of victories. So it differs. Perhaps that could be one of the reasons why Vidit thought for so long for C takes B4. Definitely, I didn't expect that he will think for such a long duration.
Right.
But it can happen. It can happen.
Sure. And then e5 takes. I think these were the best moves.
Yeah.
And what was your feeling if he had gone for this, line with, I think, bishop b5?
Yeah, I think this was the best move, which I actually saw it. I mean, rook b5 or bishop b5. I had to see this move when before going e5, since this is really the most obvious, because you are capturing this d3 bishop. So here I thought I have, like, bishop takes e5,
Hmm.
and I think it was queen takes
Yeah,
d3, because bishop d3 somehow rook d1 is the issue,
correct.
and so therefore queen takes d3, queen takes d3, bishop d3, I think I will go for bishop f6, g takes f6, and just take the pawn on a3. So my evaluation here is quite complicated. So how it goes is like, yeah, if black finds all the best moves, or let's say the fine points, I'm maybe I have to defend, not that I'm worse here, because in many cases, if I sacrifice the knight for the 2 pawns, I mean 3 pawns on f6 and so on, even that is close to a draw. And of course that is in the worst case scenario here, because
Right.
in order to achieve this, you need to push the pawns from a7 b6, and my rooks would like king f2, rook c1 will come pretty soon. So here I wouldn't say I was confident, or at the same time I was not worried. So it's a feeling like, well, if this position appears, I'm not in a losing position or worse,
Right.
but
Right.
black has to find some tricky modes, and already by the time we reach this position, he would have probably like 15 minutes or even less.
Hmm.
So it's hard to find all these moves.
Yeah, yeah, those were tricky, but once with it aired with knight c6, I think
Yeah.
you were in this kind of mode where you made one good move after another. You kept finding the best moves.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't expect knight c6. I was thinking perhaps he would go for rook c5, or something like rook g5. I don't remember. I think rook
Rook,
c5 at
yeah.
some point.
Hmm.
At some point, rook c5. And knight c6 at first glance looked really nice, because after
You
bishop
can't
takes,
take.
yeah,
So,
knight b4, and
exactly.
I think I'm lost simply.
Completely right.
Yeah, this is the bishop knights are just jumping, and it's completely lost. And here my idea was, okay, I need to bring rook. I need to attack somewhere. I cannot give everything. And then I came up with this plan, rook d1.
Rook d1, queen
Yeah.
e7. You took knight
Actually,
takes.
I didn't understand why he sacrificed. Here I was calculating so much, I couldn't understand like what is the right move, because rook c5 seemed so tempting
Hmm.
for me. If bishop takes h7, knight takes h7, and rook d8, rook d8. I am not sure if white is actually better, even though white is a piece up, because my the king on e1 is quite weak. And
It's
yeah,
actually rook for a queen right here, but
yeah, it's rook for queen. Of course, black has 3 pawns. I mean, white can
yeah.
capture the pawn on a3, but rook e8. So this was one
Hmm.
direction maybe, but I probably shouldn't go for this queen. I wouldn't go for this queen taking on h7 for sure.
Yeah, you would have to maybe castle here and
Yeah, yeah,
something like that. It's
absolutely. I wouldn't give my bishop on d3 for
correct.
queen. Yeah, yeah.
So you took castles, takes, queen d3. I think this was all forced, and we could
Yes.
literally sense that the pressure of you playing accurately plus with it low on time was getting onto him, and then
Yeah.
you found this was fine. And now actually there was a choice, right, between
Yes.
rook f5 and rook e1.
Yeah.
And you found, I mean, was rook e1 like easy for you to find, or?
Yeah, I thought like if I move this rook from a6 f1, and then my rook plays the difference in comparison to the 4 pawns which black has. So I mean, obviously next I would move the queen and so
Hmm.
on. Later on, I saw that even rook f5 was nicely. It's like everything is controlled here. It was really nice move rook f5, because bishop b5, queen b5, I think, or
Right, right. Queen b5,
yeah,
and if
queen takes
queen
b5,
b5, then rook b5.
and then rook b5. And oh, actually, I might have somehow thought like rook b5, a2, and rook d4 is coming, but now I see that maybe just rook b4 wins.
Ah, yes. Defending it this way.
Yeah, yeah, because I don't have rook a5 here, so this must be.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm just thinking maybe it's not true, but
Right.
yeah, rook b4.
But rook f1 was equally good, and I think
Yeah.
this was the critical moment. I think the last point of the game where you had to be accurate, and
Mhm.
only one move was good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
This was not easy because there was
Yeah.
queen a3.
Yeah, queen a3 he takes, and queens and rook d4. I was actually hoping that this would work because it's much simpler. But knight c2, rook d2, and I could not
Correct.
find a way somehow to trick here. And the bishop is nicely coming to d5 or
Mm,
e6,
mm.
and black is more than fine here.
Right, right. So queen
So
c3 was an
yeah,
excellent move, I think, and after that it was just
yeah,
easy, like a matter
yeah.
of technique because you found all the best moves again. I thought your calculation was just amazing in this game because even though Vidit did have chances, you had seen through. Now that I'm speaking with you, you had seen through many of the important lines on the board.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously he was calculating 43 minutes, so I got a lot of time to think. But yeah, I mean, I for sure must have missed some fine points or some nice ideas. But the main concepts I have seen in the game, and it was very interesting game for me, and all the pieces hanging and so on. So it was really nice to win like this.
Yeah, this was fantastic and huge victory. I mean, a huge boost to start off with a win. Also, Vidit was the top seed of the event.
Yeah, yeah.
Phoenix says, congratulations, Hari sir, for winning Prague Masters and getting number two spot back. Good luck for the Olympiad.
Thank you very much, and we hope to do well at the Chess Olympiad.
Yeah, there are many interesting questions that the people have sent, which I will ask after the game analysis.
Sure, sure, sure.
The next game is my absolute favorite from this tournament. It
Okay.
is with Parham Maghsoodloo. Is this also your favorite game from the tournament?
Um, yes, yes, you can say that.
You
It's
you
it's a
cannot you cannot say this is not your favorite. This was like had all the drama,
yeah.
the masala, everything was in this game.
Yeah, it's almost like movie, the Tollywood or Hindi movie, or but it's like we had the three games in one game. It's kind of he was doing well, and then suddenly I found nice trick, and then he almost found a defense, and it was like it was too much. Luckily, the next day was a rest day.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually remembered when I was young, I studied this game
Yes,
between Zemish and Nimzovich, and it
yes,
was
yes,
called the Immortal Zugzwang.
yep,
Any move that white last move was at six, and any move that
yeah,
white makes, he loses.
it's lost. Yeah.
And
I
some,
mean, maybe the next idea is to play King H7 or something like this. Who knows? Yeah. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
if even if you have one move, you can do so many things here.
correct.
Everything is lost.
So, and this game of yours with Parham actually reminded me of that. So, let's go step by step. First, the opening phase where I thought that c5 would have been a
Yeah.
pretty clean equalizer, but you were not in the mood to fight back in the center. Like you were just playing around with your pieces. What was the reason?
Well, actually, my second did have mentioned this move in the file. So later, when I went back, he said he should play c5. And then because he was working whole night, actually, like he would send me some ideas in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and so on. And then, of course, he checked this idea just against Parham, and it looked interesting. And I said, okay, why not? Let's try this. And of course, the main point for black here is that I should get at least g5 or c5. I can't allow white to have h4 and also not play c5, and that's exactly what I did. And probably my second even told me that this is you cannot allow h4 and c5.
I told you.
Yeah, he told me. But c5 is indeed the move why I played a6. Actually, that's
Right.
that's the point why I played a6, not to allow any kind of knight b5, knight e6 jumps.
Mhm.
So yeah. next time I will remember.
Right. And then, like Parham, I mean, we were seeing on the video, and he was so confident. He was making his moves quickly. He brought his king up here to b3. And the only comment that I could think of at this point is that, look, the king on b4
Before.
is slightly weak. Okay. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
although it's so nicely sandwiched between his
yeah,
pieces,
yeah,
if there's one check that would come, you would just win.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it was too much to think, when you're facing
Yeah.
like such a strong opponent. So when you got this opportunity, he played bishop f3. Did you instantly see rook a1, or it took you some time?
I was hoping that he doesn't defend the c2 square. I actually saw rook a1 much before.
Acha.
Like I was hoping that he would go into this knight c4 and so on. Of course, rook d2 was so logical, not to
Yes.
get into. But when he went rook c1, I figured that he didn't see the idea of rook a1 and knight c2, rook a8 checkmate. And then once he played bishop f3, I just, okay, let me place the rook on a1 and then I will think what to do. Yeah, I can't allow knight a4, knight c5, that would mean that black is completely lost. So I think Parham wanted like rook h2 and something to somehow make some. I mean, I don't know actually why he went for this bishop f3 and so on. But I thought rook d2 was so much natural in that position. So when I got rook a1, I thought like, oh, I have to play this. No need to think.
Beautiful. And I was just, we were at this point thinking that, oh, it looks like the game is not going Hari's way, and suddenly he played bishop
Rightly so. Rightly so.
f3.
Rightly so.
And suddenly the bar shot up, and I was like, what's happening?
Yes.
And rook a1, and then suddenly
My heartbeat also shot up when I got this chance, not just the bar.
and the funny
Yeah,
thing is, he doesn't have moves here. Like, his
yeah.
pieces are not moving. His bishop can't move away, because then you would give a check and then his rook would hang. His rook cannot move. This one cannot move, because then again it would be unprotected and knight
Yeah.
c2 will come. So
Only the H pawn can move here. That's the
exactly,
best part. That's the best part here.
he played it and
Yeah.
takes, and here this was the 40th move. It was like the
Yes, yes,
last
yes.
move
Yeah,
that.
I hope this was not during time pressure, because here the funny thoughts which were going in my head is, should I go rook c7 or king b8? Like, how do I wait for this? Because rook c7 is same idea with rook a1, knight c2, and rook c8. But I think with rook c7 there was some issue. But I thought, okay, king b8 looks like the way. It's so nice. I
it's
should make it.
it's amazing, and it's
I should
rook
just
swing.
make it. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. He has to give all these pawns which he did, h6, and there is nothing else he can do here.
He played
So rook e1.
f5 here.
Sorry, first f5 and
And
then
this moment, you had like a lot of time, now half an hour more. We also
yeah,
had, while I was commentating, Anish was watching it in the chat, like he was there,
yes,
and thinking from a human brain, I
yeah.
think he felt like at least this take and knight f5 seems like a human way to
Is
continue.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Did you also
The
feel that?
Yeah, definitely. I thought this was the first thought which came to my mind, and of course with knight on b6 and if e5 pawn being weak already, it's almost winning. I would say, but in my calculation, I missed rook coming to a6. Like
This one.
yeah, that was the problem.
So
Otherwise, I
after
would.
take here,
H6, yeah,
you missed that gh,
yeah.
rook a1,
Rook, yes.
knight c2, king a5, king b7, takes. So you saw all of this, and this
Yeah,
move.
I saw all of this before King B8, and I suddenly forgot that the rook is
Oh
coming
my god.
to A6.
And that must have been quite an unpleasant feeling, no? Here.
Yes, awful feeling. Because there was also another move, knight D7 or something, which
Yes.
was also like, I couldn't believe, like it felt like, okay, this cannot work. I mean, I'm playing king b8 and knight d7 looks so ridiculous. I don't do anything.
Right.
But it seems like somehow I still have the same idea with checkmate after rook a1.
Yeah, rook a1.
I think I give a check,
Check.
knight c2, king somewhere, and king b7, I think is the move.
Yeah, and now this is coming up, and I think he can't
and
stop it.
he can't stop it. Yeah.
He
So
can play
yeah,
b6 now, but I think you take this, and this is winning
yeah,
somehow.
this is winning. This is winning because also there are some checkmates. Next move, rook c5 and knight b6. So he's losing a piece.
Correct.
So this just was winning there, right? Maybe he had some better way to play instead of rook a1.
Yeah. You mean?
But rook a6 was the shocking move, which I missed in my calculation.
And so then you played rook c3, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, for Parham to find rook a4 is not easy now. Oh, okay, I mean, it's knight is attacked.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
rook is attacked. But I think
Yeah.
when he played this, it was an excellent move by him as
I
well.
think rook a4,
Stops
rook
knight
a4
d4.
was yeah, knight d4, and more importantly, sometimes rook c4 and rook is coming. If let's say rook d6 and then rook c4, and black's king is not really safe here on b7 if both the rooks enter c file and d file. And here that's the reason why I went knight c3 to stop. I think I played knight c3.
Yeah, knight c3,
Yeah.
e6. He took. And I was just for fun saying, like, you're thinking, okay, what if Parham takes on f? He won't do it because rook e8 is there. And he actually took it. I mean, that was a risky decision by him.
Actually, I mean, okay, we will speak obviously about the two knights, but I think practically there was no need to take this. Simply, you can get such a position after 10 moves, or so why would you just give it away so quickly? I thought rook d6, rook e8, and there were many moves which he could play. I'm not sure. Yeah, rook d6, rook e8. I think
is the safest
rook e8
because
is
rook
the
f8
safest.
next.
Yeah, rook f8. And surprisingly, this king on a5 is so safe. I just couldn't believe, because I was always thinking like, okay, let me get rook b3, knight c7, and try to checkmate. But the king is safe. King is really safe on a5. But rook f4 was shocking to me. But maybe it was good that he played. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing this endgame.
And taking this, and now everyone started opening up their endgame books and started
No, table base
table bases, and what is
table
the
base.
Troitsky's line?
Yes,
From
yes.
where do you have to blockade the pawn? And they realized that both the pawns have surpassed the Troitsky's line in a way.
Yes.
So technically this is a draw, which is actually a good decision by him objectively.
Yeah.
But how do you think how easy it is, and how much did you know about this endgame right now? What was your feeling like?
I think the pawns which is lost is a5, b3,
Yes.
c4, d5, and the same on the other side.
Correct.
So anything else is draw. I mean, if the pawn advances further than these squares, it's a draw. I was not. I mean, I knew that it's a draw. But what I thought is, okay, if the king goes to h somewhere, then it's my only chance. If he stays on a file, it's just a draw. Like I can't really make a progress.
You mean if you could bring the king here, that's your only chance?
That was my, as in, of course, I cannot let him go to h1, or I mean, once he goes to h1, my knight is too far.
I think after the game you told him exactly that, right? That you should have gone to this corner.
Yes, yeah, but he didn't get a chance. But yeah, I mean, that was the thing. But also he could just stay on a file, like a5, a6, a7. It was really funny, but the b5 pawn actually helps the king controlling the c6 square. And from far, it was quite difficult to understand. But I think
that's this way. Stay here.
Yeah,
like this.
just stay. So I will of course win the c6 pawn. For example, king b8, c7, king c7. Let's say we get this, and I stay a5 or a6 or a7. It doesn't matter.
Ah, but generally, you want to run away.
Yeah, you want to run away exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, why would you want to stay here? That's
exactly.
true.
There are only two squares left. You feel
Yes, yes,
worried.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
So he decided.
So this was a nice learning thing for me, that with just staying here, it's a simple draw. And here I already felt that he wants to take it to h1, which is actually, I mean, bad idea, but good for me.
And did you know, like, uh, a king and a knight can push the king away to the corner
Yes,
here?
yes, yes, yes.
And when I was trying to analyze, it was already like, it was about tempo. You needed to go to g8
Yes,
on some
yes,
squares,
yes.
sometimes g7. So it was very
Mm-hmm,
tough.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think h7 was a draw here.
Yes. How do you do you have any way of understanding this? That king h7, like right now you said, I have analyzed here, so I've written king h7 draw. If someone asks me after a month, I will not know it.
Okay, it's just I spent like 1 hour on the board, and it's my half point, so I will know it. Yeah, jokes apart, like the good thing about knights is they can jump, but the bad thing is they can't lose a move. This probably like, I mean, queen, rook, bishop, or any piece can lose a move, but knight can't. And therefore the position and like you have to pay attention to this. And yeah, king h7 was incredible.
Yeah. So king h6 here, and then at this point, I think you slipped up with this move.
Yeah, this was not a good move.
Yeah, and then he had to go to g8, but he went to
g8, yeah.
g7. So I mean,
Yeah, g.
do you think that it's possible to play this accurately for humans, this endgame?
I think if let's say some players who are fresh, as in like just they come to playing hall fully ready and only playing this, yes, they will find it. But the point is, we were playing, we were really short on time, and of course this was like fifth hour or something like this. So although I can't say that there is a valid reason for not seeing this, so we can say that it is possible, to miss such things. And that's why I mean, in games are really complicated. Yes.
Yeah.
So
No, for sure.
it's, yeah, no, because you feel like this is what I call like positionally, or in your head you feel like, king should be g7, don't go behind, all these things.
If you do
So
this,
this is,
you are getting
yeah,
pushed further.
yeah. So this is like when you are just not calculating but only feeling the position. And I, in my course also, that's what I wanted to highlight, that endgames is not just if you are good at position, having good feeling doesn't mean you will be good at end games. And I always believe that end games is pure calculation.
Yeah, I think you have an endgame course on Chessable as well, and
Yes,
I
yes,
think it
yes.
is something that I would recommend to everyone. In fact, after the game, a lot of people were in awe of your endgame play here, because to
Yeah,
convert this, and I was just mention here, the main thing is that this knight
yeah.
has to move and the king
Yes,
can
yes.
go out.
King will go out. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Now here white to move is lost, I think.
Exactly. So
But
if you leave a
yeah,
move out and white to move,
yeah,
now
yeah.
this knight shifts place
Yes,
and is
yeah,
able to
yeah.
somehow.
This is lost. Yeah, this is lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I wished he had played the remaining two moves, but that's nice.
Yeah. In
I
the
think he
game, you
resigned after.
yes,
Yeah,
knight
after
d7.
this he resigned. Yeah, after this he resigned.
And people are asking, like, what did you and Parham speak so much after the game? And I think it was also nice of him to analyze so
Yeah.
long.
No, he loves chess, and he was trying to discuss. He was discussing like if the end game is draw, and which corner should he reach, and so on. And exactly like rook d2, he didn't see rook a1, and that was one point. And of course I told him that he doesn't have to capture the f4 pawn, and he could wait. I mean, for me, I felt like it was a nice calculation with rook b6, rook c6, exchanging the rooks. But for sure, white is not in such a great danger that he must sacrifice immediately. But
What's
we both were exhausted. I mean,
yeah, for
but the
sure.
thing was, next day was luckily a rest day. But it was such an intense game. Actually, I didn't even check like how many hours we played, but it was really fun playing against him, and to discuss the ideas after the game.
I think at some point I had asked you which is your favorite game in overall career, and you had mentioned your win against Mamedyarov at that point when we had
Yeah.
discussed. Would you
Yes.
say that somewhere this game would feature close to it, or would become your
Um,
favorite game some point or not?
I think I would say that two positions or themes in this game. So one, obviously, you will never get. I won't say you will never get a chance, but I hope not. But checkmating with two knights is not something
Right.
you get in your game every day. And the second one is rook a1. I just could not, just the move and then king b8. These two motives. The reason why I would say Mamedyrov's game is my favorite, because that was a fantastic concept which I had. Of course, in this game there were some errors from Parham, but in that game there was not many
Correct.
errors.
Right. The quality of that
Yeah,
game was higher.
yeah, higher.
There's this one question by Pranjalya Tiwari who says, any hint on the second from you? You were mentioning, your second had helped you in preparation. So any hint or it's a secret?
No, it's not a secret. He's from Austria. His name is Felix Bluberger, and he's I think 19.
He's 19 years old.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Very, very talented youngster.
he can theoretically play World Juniors. Yes.
Very cool. And then we go on to the another very exciting game against another exciting player.
Yeah.
Uh, Rohit Reddy says home loan, car loan, Hari Anna cyclone. I don't know if this is some dialogue from some movie.
I don't know too, but it was fun. It was funny.
So this one was against Salem,
Uh-huh.
and I thought this was also a very exciting game. Somewhere in the opening, once again, I think he got a very comfortable position. Was it somewhere your strategy that you wanted to, you know, give him some kind of an over expanding position and maybe then take it here, or
Yeah,
how?
you can partly say that because at this point of time, Lake Wang was leading by half a point, and of course, um, like I have, I mean, the remaining rounds I have Salem and Anton, who are not doing that great, but it doesn't mean that I will, get the points or something like that. So I have to create chances and keep the game going, and not to kind of close everything and be solid, because then of
Yeah.
course they know that they can't do anything, and that would mean that it would end in a draw, which makes it difficult for me to play for the championship.
So, before we just go to this game, I just want to pull up the final position of this one. Did you take a draw here because of your time situation, or you felt like there was no real chance?
Here I did not like obviously later on my second roll also I checked it, but during the game I did not see the idea. It was incredible idea. I mean, of course, it looks very simple now that I have seen it, And yeah, definitely time was a factor. I was trying to find something to keep the game going, but I missed the idea. So I think the idea was to have knight d5 at some point.
Yes, knight d5 takes.
Takes, and bishop d6 or something like that, and knight f5. Let's say this is the position which is important. Queen g6 and g4. Uh,
Yeah, this move is not easy to make.
yeah, this move, and then the plan is like
h4
rook
h5.
g1, h4, h5. And then I was like, I was analyzing with engine. Obviously, I couldn't believe that how big of an advantage I have here. And once I see this, now it's too obvious for me that of course my knight on f5 is brilliant, you know. And if I had seen, that I can go h4, h5, I would definitely go for this, since all the squares are nicely controlled on e5, which is quite important when you are in exchange down. But I didn't see this.
Right.
I missed this.
In all my interviews I come across two types of players. One is who say that engine suggested this move, for humans it's difficult. The other is engine suggested this move, I couldn't find it, but I think I can find it next time. So which category do you fall? Do you think that there are certain moves which humans can never find and it's just engine suggestion and you don't take it as personally, or oh, why didn't I find it?
I think okay, for me, if I don't see a certain idea, well, I will learn this idea and use it next time. Let's say some similar concept, not exactly this position, but if I get a similar concept in my next game, then it will somehow stay. I mean, it is stored in my mind. Like, okay, in the last game I had like h4, h5, so I can do here. But I think there is a huge difference from engines, as in the neural network engines are something which learns based on playing against each other, which is quite similar to the humans. So let's say we can't play millions of games, so it takes more time for us to learn those concepts, whereas the neural network engines can play millions or even billions of games. So I would say that these concepts would surely become normal in some years. So that's how I see it. But whereas the brute force engines, which I mean, there are many brute force, as in like which goes narrow but deep. Those are hard to see. Those moves are extremely difficult because they have a different way of calculation, etc. But the one which this concept, for example, I think humans will be like, okay, it's very normal concept after some years.
Yes. I think this was one discussion I had with someone, that maybe in future the way in which chess players will grow up will be different from what it is now. Like right now, when you train or when you are growing up, you are taught classics, you are taught
Yes.
end games, you are taught all this, and so you have a specific way of thinking. Although
Yeah.
it differs from player to player, it's just.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
maybe few decades later they will be growing up perhaps looking at all these moves, engine moves, and maybe they'll
Yeah.
become.
Yeah, they will be like, what is this move, like why would you wait like this? I just want to win immediately.
Yeah.
And actually it comes to my mind, like in many cases, a4, a5, a6, or h4, h5, h6, this concept was already used by many chess players. So it's a very funny story. In Sicilian English attack and various places, white goes g4, g5, g6, and g takes h7, this
Right, king
concept.
h8,
And yeah, and almost every coach would say in the past, like, how can you take g takes h7? It's a horrible move, king is getting a shelter, why would you do this? And the same concept now, the neural network engine suggests and crushes everybody. So now, how do you explain this? And that's the beauty, exactly what I said now, that this position could be like a very normal thing after some years, just like how g takes h7 is a normal thing, or to push h4, h5, h6, because neural network engines are doing has a similar thought process to as to humans, but at a much higher computing power.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, also in this King's Indian, everyone
yeah,
used to say put the
yeah,
pawn on h5, then
yeah.
you can always take hg6 and mate him. And now everyone
Yes, yes.
pushes h6, and you're like, where's the mate coming from?
Yeah, exactly.
And
So the concepts, of course, changed quite a lot in last couple of years, and probably they will keep on changing because the engines are getting stronger, finding new ideas to defend as well as attack, and it's always nice to learn. But of course, like as you asked this question, there are some incredibly insane moves that I think I will not be unhappy not to find them. You know, that I can live with.
true. So this game, when you got to know that there was a win, it would have been a little bit of a sad feeling there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we moved to your game with Salem. And here,
Uh-huh.
a very interesting moment arrived where you pushed your pawn to b5.
Uh-huh.
And were you surprised when he played rook e1, or you just figured out that this was a mistake afterwards?
I was shocked that when he played rook e1, because obviously when I played b5, I had to, if there is one move which I had to make sure that doesn't work, is rook e1. Because if rook e1, king d8, he can have even bishop c7, and it looks like black is completely lost.
Right.
So it's the first thing I I have calculated actually after b5, and knowing Salem, he's really tricky and
Yeah,
aggressive player. So you
absolutely.
can't give him such chances. Rook e1 and sacrifice exchange, he would go for it.
Hmm.
And like b takes a4, bishop d6, I think white is doing very well here.
There is one very nice move here, actually, for black.
Yeah, 95. Yeah.
You know it is.
Yes, yes.
Clearing the e
Yeah.
file.
Yeah, I saw your clearance sale or whatever you made it.
And then you defend it this
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
But I think this was cleaner. Knight
yeah.
c5.
No, actually, like in live, they asked me, they told me this 95, and I was like, okay, that's nice, but if I can get the same position without a pawn on d4, why
Exactly.
shouldn't I? Yeah.
Exactly.
So knight c5, when I saw, I knew the game is over here for white.
Yeah, and this was such a nice defense that here, I mean, after takes that bishop d6, rook a7, and we could
Yeah,
literally feel that Salem had given up hope here
yeah,
because it was just totally lost now.
yeah,
But you converted it very calmly, and this
yeah,
was quite simple, and he resigned here.
yeah,
And then came the last round against David Anton, who was not having a good tournament overall here,
yeah.
but it
Yeah,
was.
but he played well against me.
Yeah, yeah, it was a topsy-turvy game. And
Yeah,
were you surprised that he played f5 here when he could have played many other moves?
yeah. I was actually quite surprised that he went for f5 here, especially that like he started to think a lot at some point. I don't recall exactly at which move, and then he suddenly goes for like super complicated, and it wasn't even obvious to me that it was better or something. Of course, he could just move the queen and pretty normal position. There's nothing to worry. And in a way, I was happy that he played f5. Okay, if it's worse or good, I'm happy that there was some calculation, and I get a chance. I get a chance to win this game.
But did you
And
check like the tie breaks? Because I think if you drew also, you would have been the champion, right?
no. I play tie break. We have tie
Oh, there
breaks.
was a tiebreaker, huh?
Yeah. We play tie break. So yeah, of course, I knew. I mean, I was seeing Lek Wang's game, and it was like pretty much equalish with Paco. So if I knew that if I win the game, then I will be the champion. And I was okay in a way. I didn't want to play the tie breaks, not because I am inferior or superior, but simply when I have a chance, I should take it.
Yeah, but it actually went really in a dangerous direction for you.
Yeah, I missed f4 actually before playing h4. I mean, you can go a few moves like
And this move.
here. Yeah, I have no idea why he didn't play f4.
Hmm.
It was super scary to me, and it wasn't obvious to me like how do I continue here.
I
And I
think
thought finally
here
queen
and he
h3,
has to
and
go,
I
no?
have to I have to yeah, yeah, exactly, queen g6, yes, queen g6 and king h2 or h1. I think h1 and f3,
Hmm.
uh, bishop f1. Here I was so scared of some moves like, I don't know, e3 is working or not.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure.
actually I'm not sure, but
Okay,
hmm.
because e3, queen f3, rook e4, or there were so many things here, and my king is too weak.
Hmm.
But okay, I thought, okay, if he plays, I will figure something out here.
But he took here, and that gave you the chance to
Yeah, once he took this,
speed.
I was pretty confident that I will win this game, because like this is a big turnaround from players psychological point of view, where he was the one who was pushing like
Hmm.
f4, f3 and so on, and suddenly he needs to defend f5 pawn and hopefully not to lose, and that's a huge turnaround in players
Correct.
mind. And that's actually what has happened. I don't think black is doing worse here, but psychologically it's very difficult to play.
Yeah, the flow changed, and actually,
Yeah,
here I
yeah, rook b7 was not working. In fact, that was my initial idea. Probably
here.
it's not so difficult. Yeah, rook b7, queen takes b7, queen h7, king f6, queen b7, e2, and black wins queen c6,
Hmm.
king g5, queen g2, and king h6.
Hmm.
It's no check.
Otherwise, the right move here, I guess I had just checked it briefly, not in depth, is rook c1. But I think because you
Yeah,
had this
yeah.
idea, you
Yeah.
played rook b1.
Now, also we were low on time, so it made sense to to go for the attack. Of course, rook c1 is logical because I defend the pawn and should be winning also. Yeah, here I actually thought it's quite easy winning, but later when I checked, it wasn't so easy.
But you played all the best moves from here. You didn't let the win slip, I think,
Yeah,
no?
okay. There was another way he could go, like some king d7. No, this is I think not the right way. Maybe king d7, king
Here, yeah.
c7 or
King
something.
d7. But then a6.
A6. Uh,
I think what he played was the staunchest
yeah, yeah,
defense.
yeah, yeah. He played the best. It's correct, correct. Yeah,
And you also found all the best moves. I think finding bishop g2 was nice. I think this was a critical move.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you played. I guess
Now
he.
here I only thought one thought came to my mind. I just take these 2 pawns and it's winning. I
Yeah,
don't have to checkmate him. So, and
exactly.
here rook b8 is lost because I just take on king g4. This was also quite important.
And the bishop does everything on one
Yeah.
diagonal. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this bishop is very good. And then you won this game, so it
Yeah.
was quite. And with it, you also won the tournament. Uh, was there also a prize? Like, what was the prize fund? I couldn't find it anywhere.
I think the total prize fund is 44,000 euros, and the first prize is 8K. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was amazing. Uh, yeah. Pandi Guru says rankings are temporary, but class is permanent. Hari bro is OP. A lot of people enjoyed this tournament, Hari. So, they had a
Thank
lot
you.
of questions for you. So, can we take a few of them? I have selected a
Sure.
few.
Sure. 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 Please.
Okay. So, let me just go to this screen and
This, by the way, whoever did this, it's very nice, huh?
Yeah, Abhyudaya, who makes, I think
Yes, I know him, I
he's
know.
the one who
He
has
also
made.
made me Iron Man, I think.
I think at that point, yes, it maybe it was him, but it was back in 2020. But
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
right
yeah.
now, since couple of, like, around 1.5 years, he's been making this, and I think the trophy is very interesting. Yeah, the cubicle one.
So this is actually a glass designer who made this trophy. I think is one of the sponsors of the event. So every day they were giving one best game prize, and also that was done by the same company. So that's the one. It was quite heavy.
Yeah, yeah. And Hari, how happy are you with reaching, gaining 19 elo points here? I think this is maybe a couple of rounds before. You have now
Yeah.
reached 27-20. Does that mean a lot for you, or how is it?
Um, Obviously, to win Prague Masters and gain 19 points and to get into good shape and good frame of mind is like, I can say it's like a blockbuster for me, and it's like we had one interview before I went to Prague Masters,
Yes.
and you were asking like what was I thinking about my form, etc. And as I said, I keep working, and so results will come at some point. And
Yes.
luckily, it came.
No, no, there's no luck here. I'm sure there's a
So
lot of hard work behind the
yeah.
scenes. Uh,
So and of course, it's not. It's. I mean, this. Although you can say that I'm the main actor, but there were many people who helped me, wished me, and fellow GMs, my friends who were constantly messaging. And I remember my friend was like, "Why did you accept draw in against Lekwang?" So it was that intense pressure on me.
So apart from you, the second you mentioned Felix, who are the some other people? I mean, your family, of course, supported you, and anyone else you would like to mention?
Well, basically, I had a couple of like training partners. Like, I mean, I mean, I cannot say it
Like, you
at the
can't reveal
moment,
it,
at the
correct?
point, but because I will be working with them in the future as well. But they were really supportive, and it gave a good perspective. And I also want to mention that I had a small session during the Olympiad. I
Hmm.
mean, sorry, during the
Olympiad
coaching
training
camp,
camp, yes.
to Olympiad training camp with Grandmaster Boris Gelfand. And that helped me quite a lot. Although it's a short session, it was pretty useful for me, and I could learn a lot.
Very nice. And just because we were on this subject on Boris Gelfand and AICF had organized it, did you
Yeah,
see
exactly.
yesterday what happened in India? And it would have been so nice if you were also there. How did
Yes,
you
yes,
find it?
absolutely. So I saw it was really amazing, and the it's just I have no words. It's like I have been playing chess for a long time, and this is something which is like I don't know how to describe, even like to chess getting such a great platform, and our prime minister Modi ji is coming, and starting great things for chess. That's all I can say. And wishing all the players. It's really inspiring for us, and we hope to do well at the Chess Olympiad. And one more thing, the Chess Olympiad is not just a competition, but it is also like a festival for all the chess players across the globe. many participants across the globe come and meet each other, so
Right.
it's like 3 to 4 thousand people at one place, they meet and so on. So it's a great thing. And this year, we India being the host will be the best.
Yeah, we are very much looking forward to it. And Harry, here's your first question.
Yeah.
Aditya Deadly says, my question to Hari sir. Why did Hari sir stop streaming on his Twitch channel? It was really fun to watch, enjoy with him live. Congrats for winning such a strong tournament and on becoming India number two again.
Thank you, Aditya. So the answer is pretty short and simple. I couldn't get time to continue it. Of course, it requires a lot of time planning, and I also had support from my friends who were helping to produce the shows and so on. But I enjoyed, obviously, interacting with the fans, and could share my knowledge. And yeah, and hopefully I will play better games so that it compensates.
Yeah, great. Here's the next one. Manohar Chaudhary says, my question to Hari, how you overcame mental stress of having bad form, losing ELO, and bounced back to win a great tournament? Also, what's your view on a few mistakes you made in critical situations which were unnoticed by opponent GMs?
Okay, this is a quite complicated question. I wish I actually know the formula, or like how it is done. I would have done it much earlier myself. But I think the right frame of mind and right team, I would say, helps a lot when you are really in low phase. I believe that a team effort is the most important thing, even if it's an individual event. Like, I play the game, but I always give the credit to my team, which is behind the uh, to keep me going, and to push my boundaries, etc., etc. And obviously, when you have such a positive team, you can overcome stress and get into positive mindset before an event.
Amazing. Actually, I think a lot of viewers and also many chess players do not know that a top chess player needs to build a very good team
Yeah,
around himself. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's the CEO of the company and he needs to have people working around him. And it's not,
Exactly.
he has to find talent and he has
Yes.
to make sure that they are with him on his journey.
Yeah.
It's also management role in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like for in chess player's head, even when he's sleeping, sometimes chess moves are being played, or when they are walking or doing something. So under such scenarios, when they take some decisions on logistics or some etc., they won't be optimal. So
They miss their flights.
yes, one among many. So in order to have a good environment and to fight, give your best, you must give you must create a nice team around you, and nice people who will support no matter what is the situation, and stand behind him or her when they are having not such a great phase. When you are winning, it's okay.
Right.
It's mostly
Okay.
you are having a good feeling, and you can go with it. You will play well and so on. But where you really need people is when you are not doing so well, and I'm lucky that I have such people in my life.
Tremendous. Next question is by Manoj Kumar, who says, when he suffered from poor form and went below 2700, and now he seems to be in his element, what are the changes that impacted his decision making? We spoke about it. And he says, I was following his games in World Cup and Grand Prix. He seems to be physically fit in this tournament more than previous ones. Did he change his exercise routine?
Yeah, like basically, I always paid a lot of attention to the physical fitness aspect. So like in 15, 16, I think maybe I spoke to you, or 17. I remember I spoke to you. Also, I told that physical fitness is quite important, as we sit quite long, and we play for 10 days in a row, or sometimes even more. Yeah, definitely I paid a lot of attention to this aspect, and I can say that even diet plays quite an important role to keep your mind in good good spirit. And I can say that all these things together help me to keep in right frame of mind.
Amazing. This one is by Megha. She's a talented youngster from West Bengal. She says, first of all, congratulations, Harry. My question, we often see so many players in lower rated levels losing their control over a position, especially when they have dynamic edges, as they require more accuracy to convert. What will be your advice to lower rated players to improve their skill of converting dynamic edge into a nice victory?
Okay, so I think one of the problems could be that when you have an advantage, or like big advantage, you tend to feel like, okay, I will win this game. you know and when you don't, you are fully focused. So there itself you can understand that the effort or focus which you are keeping on the game. So just observe that you are fully focused on the game until your opponent resigns. And if it changes, then you have the answer for your question. So I think sometimes we tend to relax a little bit too soon, and that is the main reason why we miss. And it's not only lower rated, but it happens at every level. And I also feel that sometimes bad sleep, or lack of energy, etc., etc. But finally, it's up to you how you overcome these problems. But you have to focus until your opponent resigns.
Yeah, very nicely said. I think this shift in focus, if you see that's happening, you already know you're going wrong. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
maintain it. Very nicely and simply said. Aryan Kedia says, in this event, you played very different quality of chess, where you took more chances by playing aggressive setups, going for attacking ideas. Also, you outplayed positionally Parham. So, do you think in tournaments it's necessary to understand the opponent and play the way the opponent would lose their patience, or you play your style irrespective of the opponents?
I think it's a mixture of both, because whenever a chess player or any sports person follows a certain pattern, their rivals will analyze them, and it becomes too predictable. And in some way, that could be the reason why I could not win some games in last couple of months, or couldn't get an advantage. But it's always good to change a little bit. And he as I mean as he pointed out, definitely I played against my opponent's weakness, but also sometimes I played to my strength, and that helped. That combination helped, I would say.
Very nice. Uh, Penultimate question. Shantanu Srivastav says, congratulations, Haryana. My question to you is, when the time is very low, how do you manage to be so calm? And any tips on how to think in those tense moments?
Okay, but I'm not so calm, but maybe I appear. But generally, I don't come under severe time pressure. It's very rare. It's very rare I come under time pressure. But if I do, I think it's not so calm for me as well. But it largely depends on the position which you have. If you have a simple position, there is nothing to panic. But if you have a complicated position, just focus.
I think you also put in a lot of effort to not come under time pressure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some of the things is like, if it is obvious move, just make it. If you find some normal move, just go for it. Don't try to wait for the best move with long, precise calculations. You need to be practical in chess, and you have limited time.
Fantastic. And the last question, this is by Aradhya Garg, who is the former national junior champion of India. And he says, my question to Harikrishna Bhaiya, how do you manage your energy levels for such a long tournament for long periods of time?
Um, I okay. I just love chess. I think that's pretty much the answer for it. Uh, I don't have any other suggestions, but I mean, obviously, you need to eat healthy food and stay fit, or I mean, go for walks or do whatever you like, and don't analyze too much with engine right before the game. That's for sure, because it makes you a little bit slow during the game.
This is very interesting. So during the tournament, you reduce your usage of engines?
Yeah, quite less actually. That part my second does it, and only when I have some doubts he checks. I That's one thing I probably changed this time, so you
This is
can say
very
that.
interesting. Actually, I have seen some videos of Magnus also in his training camps, and I think he also employs a similar kind of
Yeah,
routine, yeah, that he stays
yeah,
away from engines and his seconds work on it.
yeah. Because usually the doubts which you get while you are analyzing are most likely the ones which you will face. If an prepared opponent, then it doesn't change anything. But if an unprepared opponent, you
Hmm,
must find how they are going to react. And once you are ready for this, then the practical value of your preparation is much higher.
correct. And Hari, before we let you go, one question by Janvi in the live chat is, it would be
Mhm.
good to know Hari's favorite candidate in the candidates
Uh,
tournament.
my favorite candidate, I would say I'm good friends with, well, most of them probably, but I will take Ding. He's a very strong player, but okay, he started with a loss, but I hope he can recover. And it's a long tournament, so I will still stay with Ding.
Mm. Yeah, his start hasn't been the best,
Yeah,
but it's a long one, as you said.
yeah.
But Hari, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being so gracious with your time. We saw through the games. We spoke on so many subjects. You answered so many questions, and it's always a great feeling to have you. And people are so excited with the Olympiad coming up and you coming back into form. It couldn't have been better.
Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, it has been absolute pleasure to interact with you. And probably before every tournament, you should ask me about my farm. Yeah, because it helps. I'm
Uh,
joking, but
I should ask you, if I ask you one more question right now, maybe that would set it up for the next. I didn't choose it, but I
yeah.
think it can help. So
Okay.
because then you might get into the next candidate. So the question is to Hari, where do you think Indian players are lagging in qualifying into the candidates?
Okay, so next interview, yeah.
And now after 2 years, Hari is into
Yeah,
the candidates, and you
and I
want
will remind this, yeah. No, no. It's great to have a lot of supporters and wishes. So my wish, greetings to the viewers of ChessBase India channel, and time to focus on the next event
which is
and
directly the
Olympiad.
Olympiad. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Olympiad. But right now I have to take some rest, and then we go with Olympiad.
Thank you, Hari. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.